My name is Jackie Bitutu Wanyande. Welcome to my channel. If you're new, I produce content every month, and I choose the type of content I'm producing based on the feedback that I get from my viewers. I have attended a few conferences in the past 1 year. One of the most exciting things is that I was attending these conferences as a delegate. I think in the past over 25 years, 90% of the events I attended, I was an event organizer. And there's a very big difference when you're attending an event as a delegate or a guest, and when you're showing up at the event and it is your event. Your mindset is totally different when you're an attendee and when you're an organizer. The purpose of this video is to give the people who attend events an outlook of a few things that they can do that they probably have challenges seeing because of being overwhelmed by the organization of the event in itself. The use of digital tools is a key aspect in eventing. It starts all from the beginning, where you have the before the event, during the event, and post-event. We all know that no matter how hot the event is, you will lose up to 60% of engagement on day 3. The excitement about how the food was, how the content that was delivered was great, it all fizzles down very quickly. By day 7, if you have done nothing else except the event itself and thanking people for coming for the event, forget, they've moved on to the next big thing. But a lot of organizations are running events that they do annually, and they repeat the process every single year. Every single year, they go to the points of contact of the people they talk to and ask them to give them the list. They screen through the list. They decide the number of people to invite, and then they start sending invites. They decide in what format the invite should be. And for the actual eventing, they know whichever travel agency they've worked with to do the bookings, if it's a stay-over event. And even after the event, they know who to ask to send a thank you message. That is the basic. But eventing has changed, and it's changed based on the fact that content is now being used differently. Second, that the contacts, the points of contacts and the data that we collect from the attendees, the ones who attend, the ones who don't attend, the ones who wish to attend but not attend, is very important, and you can use it for many objectives. Let's say, for example, the Connected Summit event that happened in Diani. That event, more than 10 years ago when it started, is very different from the event that was delivered this month. Totally different. Because they have picked the learning from every event year on until it's something totally different right now. Same to Lewa Marathon. But what can we see in the whole process that we can borrow from and make sure that our future events that we run next week are different? 1, when you put out communication on a nation newspaper or a standard newspaper to ask people to come for the event, it's not really possible to tell how many people came out of that advertisement. And people will not come for the event because you put it on the newspapers. They will come for the event because of how you connected with them before that actual event. How vested are they in whatever it is you're going to discuss? So if you're going to do an event next week and it's about teaching people how to use the cloud services, you need to go to the right audience. You need to find the right data. You need to connect with the right partnerships to send your invites to the right people. You need to use social media tools to actually ask the people who see the advert to be able to forward it to the people who think that they can come for the event. You need to say that if you feel that you wanted to bring 1,000 delegates and you're at 200, you can talk to the 200 with a different type of engagement to make sure that they can invite another 200 because there's something in it for them. So you can do an incentivized sort of program to get them to recruit. And the reason that you want to do that is because you have the right set of people who are interested. They definitely know the right set of people who are interested, which means when they show up at the event, it's easier for you to achieve your objective. Now, the other aspect of digital that can be embraced and used in terms of rolling out events is how do you, now the event is in Mombasa and you're wondering, how do you engage more? I'm just looking at the numbers for Nation Media Group, for example. They have 28 million social media followers, 28 million. They have more than 11 million monthly page views. And they have 18 media brands in 4 countries. But let's say they were running an event. Should they limit the event to the 200 people that they're talking to at White Sands, or should they extend that and say, what can we do with our 28 million viewers? What are we going to talk about? Let's say they were talking about digital inclusion. And digital inclusion is a sensitive subject. It benefits everybody. Even the person who does not have a computer is seated somewhere in Kilifi and is worried about something else, has access to a phone. If you're going to talk about the future of internet in Kenya or the future of technology in Kenya and how it affects children, how it affects teachers, how it affects families, and the message is so powerful, then you have an audience that is more than the 200 that you've invited because you have a following of 28. But how do you now take the content? Now, fast forward, we are in the location. How do you take that content that is happening during that event to get a bigger reach? There are many ways. Number one, make sure that all your social media pages are alert and you're actually streaming content to that social media page, and you're incentivizing people on the social media pages for commenting on a live event that they can view from the comfort of their house and they can actually participate. And this is where it's very important. There is also a new skill set that is required in eventing. You know, typically we worry about how do we get the best MC for the event. So the physical person that we want to come and do the event for us, and we'd like to have a Jeff Koinange, would like to have a Caroline Mtoko, we want to have Kalache. But how about your online audience that is following your event? How do you make sure that they are also engaged? So you need more than one MC for that event. You need a virtual master of ceremony who is connecting the people who are viewing the event virtually and looking at the content that is flowing and bringing it back so that they can feel like they're part of the conversation. That is a totally different skill set from the usual emceeing. What is the other skill set? You need a whole team of people in a small media center who are collecting the events, the goings on of the event. So the mistake is to just have the camera focusing on the speaker. Say, for example, right now the camera is focusing on me, but there's a lot that is happening in the event. There is also the exhibition. The exhibitors want to be seen, that they actually showed up and they exhibited. So how is the cameraman? What's the mindset of the cameraman at that point? Are they going through the entire event? Do you have someone who's creating content alongside those videos to share with the people who are not attending? And you can actually charge for the people who want to have the actual attendance of the event virtually. So if you're charging 50,000 to attend the event, you can charge a fraction of that amount for people who want to attend the event virtually. But you must give them value. You must not just show them the speakers, you also have to show them the ambience of the event. You must use that as an opportunity to motivate them to come for the actual event next year, because then you show the activities they're doing. I go back to the example of the Connected Kenya Summit. The content was flowing, it was more than the 3 days that people sat listening to presentations. There was a lot that went into that. There was the golfing that happened for a whole day, and people had an opportunity to come for that event with different objectives. Then they would be able to, meet the people they want to golf with and make certain decisions that they've been wanting to make. They create another opportunity where there are sponsored dinners. In the sponsored dinners, the corporates that have sponsored the dinners have an opportunity to speak in a very casual environment that is not boardroom style about things that are engaging. I saw that in that event, on the dinner that was sponsored by Safaricom had the opportunity to actually have a team building activity for the attendees who are customers, who are potential people they want to do business with, partnerships. And it was so engaging, you'd think that these people are not meeting for the first time. And how do you make sure you create FOMO for the person who you wanted to come for the event and didn't come for the event for the reason that they didn't buy into the story very well? That is your opportunity right there to actually showcase everything that's going on, show them the activities, show statistics, showcase innovation. I realized that in that specific event, they showcased innovation. So there's work that they had been doing. They had been going to different counties in the past 12 months, creating exciting stuff, then putting a competition out there, and then the winners come and showcase. How do you take your typical event that you run before and understand that things have changed in the digital world and tap into that? Partnerships. You want to run your event to drive a cloud strategy, as we talked about it. But you know very well that the people who want to use your cloud service is because they're doing videos, for example. They're creating content that's very heavy and they need space. So where are the videographers in your events? Because they're the ones who are connecting with the people who are actually creating this event that they don't know where to store. Where are the content teams in your event? Where are the people who don't, there's an event that I attended and everything was done except the stills, and the cameras were in one direction the entire event. So it was difficult to be able to create content out of that. How do you pick the topics that people love? So you have a number of speakers and people get excited about a certain speaker and they want to ask questions. You run out of time because every speaker has been given 30 to 40 minutes to speak. How do you pick that conversation out of there and use it to attract more people to your own brand? You pick the speaker, you tap into your existing audience, and you start running webinars going forward. Now you have quarterly or monthly webinars on a topic that you actually found out is exciting. You must get someone who can a proper scribe, but beyond that, you must get someone who does monitoring and evaluation, because you need someone to collect that data and create stories out of it. The stories that emerge out of your event, how do they look like? So numbers, someone who can crunch the numbers and post them out there to say X percentage of Kenyans today are looking for the following. What are your thoughts? And you get the people who are online on the event and the one who are physically there to participate. Now, the event is over. You want to make sure that you keep this event in the attendees and the people who do not attend engaged, so that you have an audience for the next event, which is going to be like in another 12 months. because people forget. And then you have to spend more money. You probably don't need to run another press ad. You probably don't need to make phone calls. You don't have to make any email shots. If you start running a campaign from today, if you know very well that the event is going to happen next year, open a kitty and let people start depositing. The way you take a payment process and say you can save for a target. So the target is an event that's going to cost 100,000. So create the kitty and let people deposit 2,000 today, 3,000 today, 5,000 they get, and send them statistics to tell them that you're at 70% towards your target of showing up at the event, and do incentives to say that if you actually get 200% payment by this date, you can choose the sea view rooms. And they get the hotel to also advertise and say, these are how the sea view rooms look like. This is usually the right price for the sea view rooms, but because you have booked early and you're looking at this is what it looks like. And how do you emotionally connect? Let's say the event is happening over a long holiday season like Easter or Christmas. It's happening just before then. Then you can get the hotel to give you great packages for your family. I remember when I used to attend the Connected Summit, every year I made sure that I saved towards that, and I paid in a way that after the event, my family could join me. And it was cost effective because my stay there guaranteed me a certain discount for each member of my family. And because I knew it was going to happen next year, purchase of tickets was done in advance, so everything was discounted. So in summary, what I'm trying to say is that the traditional way of running events, by just getting an MC, getting homeboys to do the screens, to do the sound, to get ushers to show people where they are going, to get a ticketing system at the entrance that does your badge immediately as you come in. That is just 20% of running the event. You can use data to actually create something great, something big that becomes a whole movement, a whole engagement model for the people that you are targeting. And when you have that audience, you can now partner with other people who have like-minded kind of brands so that you can do stuff together going into the future. The reason I have done this video is I've been assisting some organizations in trying to put together a digital elements into their traditional type of or legacy type of events, to just put it out there that if you need advice on that, if you need information on how to do that, please get in touch with me and I'll be happy to share with you on how you can make your annual event the big thing. Even if it's your staff party, even if it's a launch of a product, there's a customer journey to that. You launch the solution today, you want to put another solution on top of that, you want to extend it to another partnership, you just want to make sure that you have one point of contact, but you are using all that information to create something bigger for yourself and for your customer. Feel free to get in touch. Thank you for listening and have a good day.